The United States is a rich tapestry of cultures, colors, and communities, but did you know that some states are much less diverse than others? Welcome back to Virtual Travel by Brian, where we explore the fascinating stories behind the statistics that shape our country. Today, we're diving into the top 10 whitest states in the US. These states aren't just about numbers. They're rich in history, culture, and unique identities. So what makes these places so distinctly white, and what does that mean for their future? From the picturesque landscapes of New England to the rugged beauty of the Mountain West, we'll uncover the stories behind the numbers and explore what it means to be one of the whitest states in America. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more intriguing content, and let us know your thoughts on the list in the comments. Let's dive in. Number 10. Kentucky. As of 2020, Kentucky has a white population of 87.5%, making it the 10th highest percentage in the United States. This demographic makeup results from historical settlement patterns, geographical location, and economic development. Initially settled by European Americans from Virginia and Tennessee in the late 18th century, Kentucky's demographic foundation was established by these early settlers. The state's economy thrived on agriculture, particularly tobacco and hemp, which heavily relied on slave labor until the abolition of slavery in 1865. Industrialization and urbanization in the late 19th and early 20th centuries attracted white migrants from neighboring states and European immigrants. Rural-urban migration saw many Kentuckians move to cities like Louisville and Lexington for better economic opportunities, while in-migration from other states, particularly retirees drawn to Kentucky's natural beauty and low cost of living, has maintained or increased the white population percentage. Kentucky's geographical location in the eastern United States, agricultural, industrial, and service-based economy, and cultural heritage have contributed to a predominantly white workforce. By examining Kentucky's historical trends, population shifts, and demographic reasons, we gain insights into the complexities of its white population and make informed decisions for the state's future. Number 9. North Dakota. North Dakota's white population, at 88.0%, reflects its historical and cultural heritage. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, European immigrants, primarily from Scandinavian and German backgrounds, settled in the state, drawn by fertile land and economic opportunities. This foundation was strengthened by a thriving agricultural industry and railroad expansion, which attracted more white settlers. In recent years, the oil boom in the Bakken Formation has brought in new residents, but the majority remain white, maintaining the state's demographic makeup. Geographical isolation and cultural traditions, such as Scandinavian festivals and German heritage events, continue to reinforce North Dakota's identity. This demographic landscape plays a crucial role in shaping social services, political representation, and economic strategies in the state. Number 8. Iowa. Iowa's white population is 89.8%, a figure that reflects its historical and economic development. The state's demographic foundation was established in the mid-19th century by European immigrants, primarily Germans, Irish, and Scandinavians, who were attracted by the promise of fertile land and economic opportunities. The growth of the agricultural industry and the expansion of railroads further solidified Iowa's white demographic, as these developments drew in more settlers from similar backgrounds. Despite urbanization and an influx of new residents over the years, the majority of in-migrants have also been white, maintaining the state's high percentage of white residents. Iowa's central location in the United States, coupled with its strong agricultural industry and rich cultural heritage, has played a significant role in sustaining its predominantly white population. These factors, combined with the state's historical settlement patterns, have continued to shape Iowa's demographic landscape, making it one of the states with the highest percentage of white Americans. Number 7. Idaho. In 2020, Idaho's white population is 90.2%, making it one of the states with the highest percentage of white residents. This demographic characteristic stems from early European settlement patterns in the mid-19th century, with many settlers arriving due to the discovery of gold and other minerals, and the opportunities offered by the Homestead Act. The primary ancestries include German, 26.6%, English, 19.8%, and Irish, 11.5%. Although cities like Boise have seen significant growth due to urbanization, the majority of new residents are still white, maintaining the state's high percentage. Idaho's rural landscapes and economic focus on agriculture and mining have historically attracted a predominantly white workforce, reinforcing its demographic composition. Additionally, the state's geographic isolation and cultural heritage have played a key role in preserving this demographic balance over time. Number 6. Montana. Montana's white population is 90.9%, reflecting a blend of historical, economic, and geographic influences. European settlers began arriving in the mid-19th century, spurred by opportunities in mining and agriculture, particularly following the Homestead Act of 1862, which encouraged white settlers to establish farms. The state's primary European ancestries include German, 27.5%, Irish, 14.1%, and English, 11.7%. Montana's economy has traditionally focused on ranching and mining, sectors that attracted and retained a predominantly white workforce. The state's expansive rural landscapes and challenging climate initially limited significant migration from more diverse regions. Although urban centers like Billings and Missoula have grown and introduced some diversity, the majority of new residents have been white, sustaining the high percentage of white residents. Montana's isolation and cultural heritage, deeply rooted in pioneer traditions and a strong local identity, have played a significant role in maintaining its predominantly white demographic profile over time. Number 5. Wyoming. Wyoming boasts a strikingly high white population of 92.0%, a testament to its unique historical and economic journey. Settlers flocked to the state in the mid-19th century, lured by the promise of ranching and mining opportunities, bolstered by the Homestead Act, which drew many white pioneers. The state's economy has long been rooted in these industries, maintaining a predominantly white workforce. Wyoming's vast, rugged terrain and geographic isolation have also kept its demographic composition relatively uniform, with minimal influence from outside diversity. This blend of history, economy, and geography has solidified Wyoming's status as one of the whiter states in the U.S. Number 4. New Hampshire. New Hampshire's white population is 93.7%, reflecting its historical and economic context. Settled primarily by English colonists in the early 17th century, the state's demographic foundation was established with a predominantly white population. Major European ancestries include English, 20.6%, Irish, 18.7%, and French, 9.9%. The economy, historically driven by agriculture and manufacturing, and more recently by tourism, has largely retained a white workforce. Despite some urban growth in cities like Manchester and Nashua, the state's rural character and geographic isolation have maintained its high percentage of white residents. Number 3. West Virginia. Imagine a state where the echoes of early European settlers still resonate through its rolling hills and coal-rich valleys. West Virginia, with a white population of 94.4%, is a land deeply rooted in its history and geography. The story begins in the 18th century, when brave pioneers ventured into the rugged mountains, drawn by the promise of land and opportunity. These settlers, predominantly white, established their lives amidst the challenging terrain and fertile lands, setting the stage for a demographic profile that endures to this day. As the 19th century unfolded, the discovery of coal transformed West Virginia's economic landscape, attracting thousands of white laborers seeking work in the booming mines. Agriculture, too, played a vital role, reinforcing the state's white majority demographic. Despite some growth in urban areas like Charleston and Huntington, the state's mountainous isolation and traditional rural lifestyle have kept its population predominantly white. Even as modern trends bring new faces and opportunities, West Virginia's unique combination of historical roots, economic reliance on coal and agriculture, and geographical isolation has preserved its distinct demographic character. It's a place where the past continues to shape the present, maintaining a strong white presence in the heart of Appalachia. Number 2. Maine. In the northeastern corner of the United States, nestled among rugged coastlines and dense forests, lies Maine, a state where the white population stands at a remarkable 95.4%. The story of Maine's demographic profile is as rich and textured as its landscape. Picture the early 17th century, when European explorers and settlers first arrived in the area, captivated by its pristine beauty and abundant natural resources. They established fishing villages and small communities along the rocky coastline, primarily from English and French origins. These early settlers, driven by the promise of land and opportunity, began to shape the demographic tapestry of Maine. As the centuries passed, Maine's economy flourished with industries like shipbuilding, logging, and fishing. The state's vast forests and deep waters attracted a predominantly white workforce, creating tight-knit communities with deep historical roots. The rugged, isolated terrain of Maine, with its harsh winters and remote villages, contributed to a population that remained largely homogeneous. Even as the 20th century brought change and modernity, Maine's high percentage of white residents persisted. Urban areas like Portland grew and evolved, yet the state's rural charm and historical legacy continued to attract predominantly white newcomers. Today, Maine's demographic profile is a reflection of its storied past and its geographic isolation. The echoes of its early settlers still resonate through its communities, and the state remains a testament to the enduring influence of its historical and economic roots. Number 1. Vermont. Vermont's white population is notably high at 95.6%, a figure that tells the story of its unique history and geographical features. Imagine Vermont in the early 19th century, a land of verdant hills and small farming communities. European settlers, primarily from New England, were drawn to its fertile land and abundant natural beauty, establishing a predominantly white demographic foundation that has persisted for generations. As settlers cleared the dense forests and built their farms, Vermont's landscape began to take shape, and so did its population. The state's economy revolved around agriculture and small-scale manufacturing, which attracted and retained a predominantly white workforce. Vermont's rural nature and the isolation from larger metropolitan areas further cemented its demographic uniformity. Even as modern times brought changes, Vermont's small towns and tight-knit communities retained their homogeneity. Cities like Burlington have seen some increase in diversity, but the overall population remains overwhelmingly white, reflecting the state's historical settlement patterns and geographic isolation. Today, Vermont's high percentage of white residents stands as a testament to its historical roots and enduring geographical characteristics. The state's rich legacy, from early colonial days to contemporary life, continues to shape its demographic landscape. And there you have it, our journey through the top 10 whitest states in the U.S. We've explored how history, geography, and economic factors have crafted the unique demographic landscapes of these states. If you enjoyed this deep dive into American demographics, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content exploring the intricate stories behind our country's diverse communities.